A woman built an empire. Then she lost it. So she built another one. No king in history did what she did, no emperor, no conqueror. A woman did. And history spent 2,000 years trying to make sure you never found out. 37 BC. A stranger arrived at the edge of a vast, untamed land in what is now northern Korea. He had no army, no gold, no land, just a name, a sword, and a story. His name was Jumong, and he was about to become the founding king of one of ancient Asia's most powerful kingdoms, Goguryeo. But here's what the history books left out. He didn't build it. She did. Her name was Soseono. She was the wealthiest person in the region, a self-made woman in an age when women weren't supposed to exist outside the walls of a royal household. She had built her own fortune, her own network, her own power. And the moment she saw Jumong, this brilliant, desperate stranger with nothing to his name, she made a decision that would reshape the entire Korean peninsula. She invested everything she had. Her wealth funded the army, her connections brought the warriors, her strategy unified the tribes. The ancient chronicle Samguk-sagi records this: Jumong cherished her with extraordinary favor because she had greatly assisted in founding the kingdom. Read that again. She assisted in founding the kingdom. That's the sanitized version. The truth? Jumong was the face. Soseono was the architect. But power is never permanent. One day, a young man arrived from the north. His name was Yuri, Jumong's son from a previous marriage, a son Soseono never knew existed. Yuri was declared crown prince, and overnight Soseono and her two sons, Biryu and Onjo, had no place in the kingdom she had built. Now here's where the story splits in two directions. The official version says she left because she had no choice, pushed out by a rival heir, a woman discarded after she was no longer useful. But what if that's wrong? What if Soseono had been planning this from the very beginning? What if she never intended to stay? She gathered her sons, she gathered her wealth, and she turned south, toward a river valley no kingdom had yet claimed. The Han River, the land that would one day become Seoul. 18 BC. Soseono arrived, and she built her second empire. Baekje. One woman, two kingdoms, 2,000 years of silence. Here is where history gets strange. Korea's oldest surviving chronicle, the Samguk-sagi, compiled in 1145 AD, contains two completely different accounts of how Baekje was founded. Not two versions from different books, two versions in the same book. The first account says, the founder of Baekje was King Onjo. Soseono's name does not appear, not once. The second account says, the founder of Baekje was King Biryu, and it clearly states that their mother, Soseono, used her own wealth to fund the kingdom's creation and personally led the journey south. Same book, same events, two completely different stories. Why? Historians believe that in Baekje's earliest days, there were two rival power centers, one loyal to Onjo, one loyal to Soseono and Biryu. They went to war. Onjo won, and when the winner writes history, the loser disappears. Soseono didn't just lose her legacy, she was erased from the story entirely. So how did she die? The Samguk-sagi gives us exactly one line. The king's mother passed away. She was 61 years old. That's it. But directly before that line, in the same entry, there is this. An old woman transformed into a man. 5 tigers entered the castle walls. An old woman becomes a man. 5 tigers storm the palace. The ancient Korean historians recorded these events side by side with her death and offered no explanation. Scholars have read this differently. The old woman transforming into a man, power shifting from a queen to a king, from Soseono to Onjo. 5 tigers entering the castle, a coup, armed men seizing the palace. If that interpretation is correct, Soseono was not simply a mother who passed away quietly. She was removed by her own son. A Confucian historian could not write, "The king murdered his mother," so they wrote in code, and history went silent. After her death, Onjo immediately moved the capital. 4 years passed before he built a shrine in her honor. 4 years to erase her. 4 years to rewrite what she had built. The moment she was gone, his power was complete. Soseono was unlike every other founding figure in Korean history. Jumong's mother, conceived by sunlight, a divine being descended from heaven. The mother of Silla's founder, a child born from a sacred egg. Every founding story has a miracle, a god, a prophecy, a supernatural origin. Soseono had none of that. No miracles, no divine intervention, no myth. Just wealth, judgment, and will. She built 2 kingdoms with nothing but her own human capability. And that was the problem. In a world where kings justified their power through bloodlines and heaven, a woman who built empires through sheer competence was not inspiring. She was dangerous. So the historians buried her. And then they did something else. Something that tells you exactly how threatened they were. They took her name, the name of a woman who founded 2 kingdoms, and added a single character to it. A character that means slave. They called the woman who built 2 empires a slave. Was that an accident, or was it a message? For 2,000 years, we were taught that Jumong built Goguryeo, that Onjo built Baekje. Both of those kingdoms built with her money, her strategy, her decision. She was not a wife. She was not a supporting character. She was not a footnote. She was the architect of 2 empires. Her name was Soseono, and it's time we remembered it.